Hey everybody, I'm Ted Drozdowski from Premier Guitar. Here we are at NAMM 2025 in Anaheim, and we're starting our first day here with Dunable Guitars. You've been listening to Mike DeLaO from Skeleton Remains Rock the Hell out of one of these new Stregas that Dunable's making. And we've got Sasha Dunable right here. And Sasha, will you fill us in? One thing I want to say though before we start talking about this is that one of the things I really like about your guitars, and I've played a few, I've been able to review them, which has been great, is I feel like your guitars are sturdy, hard surface guitars made for musicians by musicians who really need stuff they can depend on. And I love that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole idea behind it. And we're here today because I want to introduce Tony Tirado, who's worked with me for close to a decade now and was one of the integral people in kind of bringing Dunable from out of my garage to a brand that some people, I guess, respect, for that reason that you just mentioned. And this whole time, he's had designs of his own that I always thought were cool. And a few years ago, he was finishing them up, the first round of builds that he was doing, and I was like, honestly, these are so sick, and I don't want you to ever leave me and my shop, so we need to make these here. So yeah, we're introducing to the world now Strega guitars, which we're doing production models at our shop. He's going to be hand making some customs, but we just finished our first batch of the Vesper 7 strings, and those are going to be available momentarily here. But I feel like I should let Tony take it away from here.
Tony, these are guitars that you've basically invented, and you've been a long-time Dunable person, man. You were able to bring your personal skill into the shop as well and come up with this line of guitars. Tell me about how they started, what you did, what are you doing now?
So I've always loved metal. It's first and foremost metal, black metal, death metal. And I've always loved tinkering, and I used to make little models as a kid and just obsessed over small little details. And so as I got older, became obsessed with playing guitar. I always felt like there were the shapes out there, but never anything that really kind of did it for me. And I always wanted to kind of push it a little further, kind of like the music I listened to, just pushing it constantly forward. And I had friends, that also wanted custom guitars and kind of felt the same way. So I had my buddy came to me with some designs on napkin drawings, and I helped him turn that into like what you see here. Actually, this is actually the first Strega model that I ever built.
And what is this model called?
This is called a Vesper. Okay. Yeah. So this one here is a 7-string, reverse headstock. This is actually the fanciest one I've ever done. That's what CNC allows you to do. You know what I mean? Just kind of blast shit out.
Want to show people the back of the neck too?
Yeah. We got here. It's let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-piece Paduke roasted neck through, swamp ash wings. So I like to keep things fairly straightforward. As you see, 1 volume, 1 pickup, Floyd Rose, locking tuners. That's pretty much all I ever need personally, and so a lot of these are just kind of reflections of what I like myself. And the pointier, in my opinion, the pointier the better, as you see. But I like to also, for me, it's not just about the points and about just ticking off the boxes. There has to be a cohesive design, and that's really what I focus on, making sure that every line works with every contour on here.
Yeah, it does look like a beautifully integrated guitar.
We'll obsess over these things and sit there for hours and days and months and
You were talking with me a little bit earlier about how these pickups were wound and what kind of pickups they are, so there's a story behind them as well, right?
Yeah, so actually these pickups here were actually made in-house by the same person who makes the Dunable pickups, Derek Donnelly. He comes to me and he just asks me what I want. High output, clarity, and he just wound these for me. It was sort of on the fly, but I think he nailed it. We age the covers, we do everything at the shop, same as we do with Dunables.
Sasha, why don't you tell us why these guitars aren't named Dunable guitars? Why are they a different product?
Well, for starters, they're not my designs; they're Tony's designs. And while I am a big fan of pointy guitars and extra brutal metal, I don't think that it would necessarily fit in just the Dunable like vibe, you know, in a genuine way. And I think it's cool to have like kind of a separation there. I mean, again, it's just really all about Tony's designs, and he's a little more like genuinely, you know, the brutal metal guy than I am. You know, I can't play that fast.
Okay. Let's go back to brutality then. Tony, why don't you tell us about the other models that we're looking at up here?
So we have Mike here is actually holding the Wraith. It's a offset V, and he fell in love with it instantly. You know, I'm not surprised. You know, he's into the same kind of things I am. And as you can see here, I tend to design or stay away from straight lines in my designs. So everything there's curves and there's asymmetry to everything that I do. Otherwise, it just doesn't look right to me. There's this, so this is the Wraith. And then up here on the wall, we have the Llammas. So the two on the ends, those are my Super Strat designs. And
I love the inlay on the one in the middle too.
thank you so much. Yeah, that's pearl and aluminum that I, hand etched, hand cut. Those two there are, I've had more than one person tell me that they're like Cronenberg strats, which, I'm into that. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what the pricing is on these guitars?
Ooh, you know what? So, these ones up on the wall here, these ones are my handmade models. So those will be starting around $3,500. Give or take. These have been maxed out, more or less. The inlay, the custom inlay, custom pickups, custom pretty much everything on these. It varies from model to model. But
so somebody who wants one of these can literally talk to you at Dunable and give you an earful on what they want. So
totally. If they wanted to go that route, yeah, they can email me, message me on Instagram, anything. Yeah.
And since we're talking about email and messaging, Sasha, where should people go to find out more about these guitars?
The URL is stregacustomguitars.com. I knew that. You can find them on, all the socials. We're going to have some sort of link, click-through kind of stuff on the website, the Dunable site as well. So it won't be hard to find.
And after you do that, go to premierguitar.com, where you'll see all of our NAMM 2025 coverage and a lot more.